All right, guys, welcome back. Today we are here at the second course of the World Championships, normally known as the Beast. This year it's the World Championships. Signs look a little different, but this place is going to be just as epic as always, even better. We got stands everywhere. We got the ultimate arena for disc golf, and I'm super excited to show you guys the breakdown of the course. Let's get into it. All right, so we got hole one here. We got the amazing banner, and that's normally the European Open, but this year it's the World Championships. They won up themselves and made it even bigger and better, which is hard to imagine, but that's what they do around here. European disc golf is taking that next step, and it's awesome to see. But we got the gap straight ahead. We have the left and right. You can see the kind of center gap. That's really the most important gap. The first banner is kind of not really in the way. It's more just for advertisement. It's not really a factor really too much off the tee, but this hole, as you guys know, is pretty fast. So we're gonna throw a shot down there. So that looks like it should be pretty good. Yep, I just got around that last tree, and then hyzer just left around it. I think that's kind of the play. You want to push the gap straighter than you think. A lot of people like to hyzer early and hit that early tree, which can definitely that one's good as well. It's just going pretty much dead straight. A little bit of fade. That should be about 25, 30 feet to the right of the basket. It didn't get quite enough fade back left at the end. But yeah, this hole is a fun starting hole. It's all about speed control and angle. It's not about the distance, and it's an awesome tee shot to start off your tournament. You definitely want to get a birdie here though, because but it's also not easy birdie. It's not a hole you're just like, it's not a guaranteed birdie. It's got a lot of touch to it, and a lot more than it looks like on camera. So hole one, great way to start. Let's get up there and check out the green, make some putts. My first drive is parked this gray zone that this is turning into my go-to zone for sure. So that is that's right here. It's absolutely parked, and practicing my tap-ins because I'm going to park this hole. That's what it's all about. No, I actually honestly, I like to practice kind of from this range over here, 30 feet. I parked that hole on that shot, but a lot of times what can happen is you can get left over here at about 25, 30 feet from the basket, and then you're left with kind of a putt like this, kind of a death putt, which is always good to practice that, as you guys know. Practice whatever putt you think you're gonna have in the tournament, not what you wanna have. There's a big difference. Of course, I wanna be parked, and if I throw a good enough shot, that's where I'm gonna land, but always good to practice a little bit further out of your comfort zone than you normally think you're gonna land. I threw my second one went a little bit long, so let's go down here and putt from the deep side of the basket here. Dang, way deep. Whoops. There we go. Get the uphill spin putt dialed. That's always good to have in your back pocket in case you need it. But yeah, there's hole one, guys. Got the spin putt, got the pitch putt, got the park job. Got it dialed, we're ready. All right, I wanted to show you some of the Reactor Project gear. The first thing that I want to show you is the Time to Fly hat. This is an awesome hat. They got their branding here and nice breathable mesh, really nice hat. And then the collared shirt, it's got the chains here on the inside of the collar. It's kind of cool. It's got the disc golf chain, so it's got that little unique disc golf touch to it. Really good quality and really professional. Really like that stuff. So once again, big shout out to Reactor Project. And one of my favorite long sleeve articles of clothing is you got the quarter zip with the orange. That's their signature color for their branding. The orange on the hat, on the quarter zip, and on the polo shirt. So just want to show you guys what that looks like. Thanks again. They got the Time to Fly, the little disc golf saying there. Once again, big supporter of disc golf, big supporter of me, and big supporter of the channel. Thanks again, Reactor. All right, we got hole two, the stereotypical forehand high stall kind of hyzering left to right shot, 381 feet to 116 meters. And the biggest thing about this hole is being able to trust your disc out high over the OB that's gonna wanna come back and fade back to the right as the pin is over to that right-hand side. I'm gonna go with the force, throw it nice and high. The biggest thing about this hole is always trusting your disc. If you throw it too tight and early, it's gonna clip trees, gonna skip OB right. So that's the biggest thing, is just trusting your disc, flying it over the OB feeling comfortable with that. That's the most important part on this one. That one's gonna be a little short right, probably, looks like. Yeah, not bad, probably about 40 feet short right. That one's just kind of to the safe side of the green. I'm gonna try one more. That one should be same thing, kind of short right. Clip that tree, that tree kind of comes into play if you're not fully trusting your shot, which those first couple I didn't. So, you know, as it's my first time playing here since last year. So it takes a second to kind of get dialed in. That's better. That's more trust over the OB. So that should get up there. That should be about 30 feet short. Like a lot of those, I didn't trust the full amount of glide there. So I wasn't gliding them all the way over the OB to park it, so I'm a little short. But they're all in bounds with a putt for birdie. That's a big win. All right, so I lied, actually. All those are parked. I felt like they were, it's funny because when I was throwing them, it felt like I was landing like right in this area, short right, but they all must have got a skip and actually parked it. So always good to park it whenever I felt like I wasn't. So those are 3 pretty much tap-ins, but I'm actually gonna throw to this right side here and putt from here because this is a lot of times where I land. It's kind of my sweet spot. Of course, I'd love to park it and tap in. If that's what happens in the tournament, that's great. I don't need to practice that. But if I do happen to throw it not perfect, I want to dial this putt in here to see if I can still end up getting a birdie. So yeah, once again, just dialing in the putter, dialing in the upshots. This is only the second round here, dialing in on these courses. And even though I played it last year, your game changes. You know, you have different discs, you have different release points, and your game is so different week to week. And it's all about, you know, knowing your game, knowing yourself, knowing how your shots are coming out. I think that's what makes the best players, is that the players that can make those in-game adjustments when maybe your forehand feels a little different, or you know, your putt feels a little bit different than it normally does. That all plays a big factor. All right, we got hole 3, 863 feet, 263 meters. We do have a kind of separation. So there's an OB line that starts at about 250 and it goes all the way till about 400, 420, maybe even a little bit further. So it forces you to either lay up short to the safe side or blast it long. I'm gonna decide to go the blast shot and go to the it's got to probably clear 430 in the air, 440, something like that. So I'm gonna go for that. It makes it a lot easier of a 4, potentially a 3 chance, but more so just higher percentage to get that 4, which is really what I'm looking for on this hole, is to walk away with a smooth 4 and give yourself that chance for the birdie. So throw it turned over, that looks really good. That should be nice and safe. Yep, that is safe. That's a good shot. That should be pushing that left side. I want to turn maybe a little bit more than that, just to make sure I'm not pushing that OB line to the left. There we go, that's another good one. So that's gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna try one more, just to kind of keep a good feel for that shot. I really like the way those are coming out of the hand. So that's, it's always something good. I'm gonna throw this cigar, just throw it high and left and see if I can't glide it into the fairway down there as well. Okay, so that thing's a little bit more stable than I thought it was gonna be. That's crazy. So I kind of hyzer flipped that, just went dead straight, which is awesome. I love that. I'm gonna try an onyx. This one should hold the turn, hyzer flip. If I turn a little bit, this thing's gonna want to turn right, just because how beat up it is. Just like that. Yep, that's money. Yep, I like that. Went through a little bit to the right side, but it's safe. Crossed the OB line. That's kind of what we're looking for here. And I really like that shot. Through 4 shots and 3 of them are in bounds. That's a huge win. That cigar is the only one that went OB, and I'm just kind of not used to that disc and how much it wants to turn. So just dialing it in. I definitely, unless it's super windy, I don't see myself laying up to this short side unless the wind is crazy and it's unpredictable whether you're gonna get a drop or a lift or push left or right. So I definitely see myself going for this second landing zone. So that's kind of what I'm locked in on that, making sure I dial that in. All right, so here's my Venom shot. I have another one up there. I like playing this right side just to stay away from that OB line left. So I'm gonna stay, I wanna play to this right side just to play to the safer side of the fairway. That one is safe up there, but I don't see myself landing that close to the OB line. I wanna, like I said, more center, take that OB out of play. So I'm not gonna play from up there, I'm gonna play from here. And from here, it's just kind of throwing. The shot's, it's distance-wise, it's reachable, but there's so much trouble. I'm just gonna throw a hyzer around the corner and then basically just chip up with a jump putt and get myself the easy birdie. That's the game plan on this one. Unless I can get through just like that, that's a money shot. That's like probably a 70, 80 footer from there. That was a good shot. And the Onyx is over here in an awesome spot as well. Got a little bit more tree trouble, but still an awesome shot that has a good potential to get up and down for the 4. So yeah, all these shots, if you clear the OB, that's the beauty of the going for it. If you clear the OB, land safe, your chances for birdie go from, you know, way up. I'd say 70, 80% chance for birdie if you clear the OB, if you're at the top level looking to win a world championship. All right, so we're walking up to my second shot up here, and it's a lot closer than I thought. So I have like a circle, you know, 1.5 putt. That was my Z Swirl Force that I threw, my orange one that I've been having in my bag for a little while. If you haven't checked out the Z Swirl Force, these things are amazing. Of course, Discraft, anything they touch comes out great. So that is exactly what that is. It's a great disc, and you guys should check it out. But now we're here, circle 1.5, putting for eagle on hole 3. Oh, it's kind of easy to leave this putt short because if you airball it over the top or to the right like that, that's probably OB. Okay, that stopped. But that's kind of the danger with this hole is that, oh, in and out and then roll OB. I've seen that happen so many times. But yeah, I mean, that's a great second shot. Gives me a chance for eagle. If I want to lay up, if it's too windy, I can definitely do that as well. But it's always good to have options. And yeah, hole 3, definitely eagleable and birdieable, whatever you want to do. But it's how much risk you want to take. All right, we got hole 4, 617 feet, and that is 188 meters, and it's a par 4, and it's a forehand through the gap. Some people throw rollers as well, so I think it's 90% of the field's gonna throw a forehand or roller through the gap. You have kind of a flex forehand that fits the eye for me. So I have this middle tree that I kind of start my Annie forehand just in front of that, flex down there, and then gotta kind of get a skip to that right-hand side. Do have a right side slope on the right side to use to your advantage that blocks your disc from skipping up the hill and going OB. So if you run into that side slope, it's gonna stop and it's gonna leave you in a good spot. Kind of call that the catcher's mitt. If you throw into the catcher's mitt down there, it's a good spot to throw your upshot from and get yourself a birdie look. All right, my 3 favorite forehand discs right now, just so you guys know, got a Force, my Z Swirl Force. That thing is absolutely awesome. I've been throwing that like 2 or 3 times already this round, and the Z Venom, the test flight. So those are my 3 favorite forehand discs. We're gonna throw them on this hole. First one, of course, is gonna be my favorite Force, my Tour Series. These things came out amazing. Let's throw them and see why I think that. Look at that thing, absolutely money. Got a skip, and that is in the perfect spot. That's why I like that Force, because as you see, it just turns, flexes, and then kind of comes back and fades and gives you that Force finish. This Venom's gonna be a little bit stretchier, a little bit glidier. So same kind of shot. Wow, I almost actually, that's crazy. I almost went over that hill OB, but still in a good spot up there and gives me another good chance for the birdie from there. Just clipped the last tree of that last Force, but yeah, those first 2 were great. Even that last one was a good shot. Yeah, it gives all those except that last one a bad result, but it was a good release. I'm happy with that. Gives me a chance for birdie, and that's what we're looking for in this hole. It's just a chance. Some of these trickier par 4s, you want to throw a good enough drive to where you're not taking yourself out of a chance for a birdie. If you hit early, it's you're completely done and no chance, and that's not what you're looking for. All right, so here's the shot right here, the Force. my favorite forehand disc in my favorite spot, because this is my favorite spot to get birdies from. And this shot is kind of into another side slope. As you can see, this right to left slope. It's always good to throw a forehand into a right to left slope like this because it kills the speed and the spin and all that. So I'm trying to go on this left side, play it about 20, 25 short of the basket. I can give myself that uphill birdie putt that I'm looking for. So that one just a little bit wide. Try one more. Similar shot, just hit the gap a little bit better. That's a lot better. So, yep, perfect shot there. It's got that 25-foot putt that I'm looking for. I'm gonna try one up the middle just for fun, just to see kind of how the reaction is up there on the green for a straight shot. So that's good, right at it with kind of a soft zone. Get a soft ground play and that's parked. So yeah, I got options. It's just kind of whatever release point I'm feeling. I can throw the straight at it forehand zone. I can throw the hyzer forehand zone. And then this is my other one. As you can see, I threw it into the catcher's mitt and totally fine. I got a little bit awkward stance on that upslope, but I'm safe and I got a chance for birdie. So that's all that matters. But yeah, forehand on this hole. That's how you get the birdie. All right, so we're walking up to my drive, the one that I said kind of just playing that uphill putt from about 25 feet or so. That's the one we're looking for. This one was the up the middle shot. So yeah, whatever, you know, I like the hyzers because it kind of gives you the best percentage chance to get that birdie look. And the up the middle can park the hole. It just adds a little bit more risk with a little more trees in the factor. All right, we got hole 5. We got 335-foot par 3. 102 meters, right to left slope again, just like the last hole. So you kind of have that catcher's mitt effect where if you throw a hyzer or something into the right side slope, it's going to kill the speed. And it also depends on if you're throwing a putter that's going to land flat, it's going to want to kind of get the like right to left skip. So I like to throw kind of down the middle with, I'm going to throw a zone, try to kind of play into that gap and let the natural hill kind of skip and take me to the left. So we'll see if I can. So that one's just a little bit wide, right? It's going to just not get a putt. I'm going to try. Same shot, just throw a little bit more turn on it. I'm trying to hit that dirt spot about 40 feet short of the basket, and that should skip me exactly just like that. So that should hit that dirt spot and skip straight and give me a putt right at where I want to be inside the circle. So the difference between the first one, just threw a little bit too much hyzer, second one turned and hit that kind of sun spot. That's kind of the spot that, you know, if you hit that with a little hyzer, it's going to skip right to the basket, and ground play is so important on this hole. All right, so we're walking up to this sun spot here. I'm gonna grab my first one, just sawed off early, hit the hill and stopped. That's just a layup for par. Second one was a lot more committed, and I hit in this dirt spot. So I know this is like a 20-foot circle. If I hit this circle, I'm gonna skip up to the green and give myself a good chance for birdie. So that's what I'm looking for. And here's the one that skipped right up here. It's about 20 feet long, and have a good chance for birdie on that one. All right, we got hole 6, 328 feet, and we have 100 meters dead straight. This is kind of a pick your shot, whatever feels most comfortable at the moment. Right now, it feels like my forehand, just throwing a dead straight forehand that finishes straight through the gap and then even has a little bit of a right finish. I'm fine with that. It's 328 feet, but it plays more like 350, 360 because the uphill grade most of the way. So I'm gonna try to throw this flex shot down the gap and give myself that through the tunnel birdie putt. Okay, that's a little bit wide left. And it's gonna be in the bushes putting uphill from about 50. So not ideal. This one's gonna be better. I'm gonna focus on hitting the gap more. There we go. That's perfect. It's gonna hit the mulch in front of it, skip right to the basket. Yep, exactly what I wanted. That's about a 20-footer. So you see the difference? Through the first one, turned it, wind pushed it a little bit too much because we do have this right to left crosswind, and that's pushing those discs a lot further left than I anticipated. And the second one, I kind of, you know, relied on that and was able to factor that in and threw it up there by the basket. So big difference, making the adjustment. Once again, first time through the course, learning the winds and how the different winds affect all the shots. And so even when you throw a bad shot, once again, there's something to learn from it. You know, don't be mad about the result, just learn from the result, the bad result or a bad, you know, bad shot, whatever it may be, and make the adjustment on the next one, and then work on that being the positive memory that you think about when you step up to a hole like this, which is what I'm gonna do. So my first one's over here, completely bushwhacked is what I call it, because there's absolutely no look at the basket. It's just more like a tomahawk or something. out like that, and not really worth playing from, because it's like, if I land there, I'm just gonna get a par anyway. But the second one is parked. Always good to practice from. Hey, we've got the driver par save. And then the Venom here is the second shot. This is the one that hit the gap and just kind of got up here for the bird look. So yeah, Venom on hole 6, getting me the birdie. All right, we got hole 7, 630 feet, par 4, dead straight through the gauntlet, 192 meters. I'm throwing a shot kind of at this middle tree in the fairway. Not that I'm ever throwing at trees, but I'm throwing just left of it, using this left to right slope again, hyzering a backhand into it this time, because the backhand coming into this left to right slope is gonna kill the speed and get it to land straight, which is what I'm looking for. Of course, I'm gonna go with my Z swirl force, down flex shot down the gap. I'm trying to throw a little bit of flex through the gap to kind of finish left and skip left at the end of the flight. Just like that. If it misses the middle tree, perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So I squeaked by that middle tree, as you can see. So that's what gave me the perfect result. It was a good shot either way, but I was heading at that middle tree, got kind of lucky. So let's try to go a little left of it this time. There we go. I went left of it this time, as you can see. So similar result, but higher percentage, because I didn't test that middle tree like I did that first time. So bad results are good results. Once again, as you always know, I don't really worry about it. That first one was a good result, but not necessarily the exact shot that I want. So I can't let the result dictate whether I'm happy with the shot or not, because I did go right side of the guardian tree that I'm trying to go left of. So that's some things you don't see on camera sometimes about shots and players that maybe it may seem like they executed the shot that they wanted, but they got away with one and they didn't. You can't trick yourself. You know the shot you're trying to execute. And yeah, so that's kind of the psychology there with good results, bad results. And as you guys hear me talk about that, it's so important to put it in perspective when you're mentally getting ready for a tournament like this and trying to throw good shot after good shot at a high percentage. All right, so here's my first shot. This is the higher percentage shot. That shot's the one that got lucky. It's a lot further up there, but there's a reason it's up there, because it flew through a bunch of trees randomly. This is a more high percentage relatable shot that I can trust on throwing every time without hitting trees, and this is where I'm gonna play from. I am gonna throw a soft zone as opposed to a TI zone on a shot like this, because we have a downhill green, and the softer plastic is gonna wanna grip the ground and not skip, whereas the slippery plastic, the zone, the TI, it's gonna wanna skip and boost down the hill. So I want a soft landing, so I'm gonna throw a soft disc like I'm gonna throw the zone here, and that should give me the landing that I'm looking for up there on the tight green. So that's a good shot. It's going left, and it should fade down the hill, trickle its way down by the basket, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So you can't see the green up there, but I got a nice soft skip because of the soft zone that I threw, and it didn't want to skip down the hill. We'll go up there and show you the fast green, so you can kind of see the dynamics that I'm looking for when I'm picking my disc on a fast green like this. Here's my Z swirl force, the first one. Once again, that's a pretty routine upshot. Great drive, took a lot of the risk of the second shot out of play, and that's about an 80% birdie chance from there. So as we're walking down this green, once again, it's a left to right slope to a complete downhill drop off right behind the basket. And yeah, so it makes a big difference. My soft zone here is a tap in birdie. So that's always nice to get that. But yeah, as you can see, a fast green, you want that soft disc to be able to land soft and smooth, not get a skip down this cliff. We got hole 8, 236 foot par 3 uphill, hay bale short, downslope past the basket, and it's 72 meters. And it is a short hole, but it's definitely a distance control shot, because you want to get over those hay bales, but then stop it before it goes down the back slope behind the basket. So I'm gonna throw a zone, and this is just a soft touch shot, feel shot. So first shot is definitely gonna be a feel, how it's coming out, how it's flying. And then, you know, hopefully I can park it and then get some muscle memory for the second one as well. Just like that, exactly like I want. That might be a little bit long. So that was a good shot, maybe a little long though. So I'm gonna try one more, similar shot. It's the exact same shot as the first one, and that should be parked. So Both those probably in a similar spot. A lot of times my shots, they like to land, you know, long right because they skip and they want to feed back off this slope because we have a left to right slope up there. It's kind of the name of the game up here at the Beast, is just playing these side slopes, knowing how the disc's going to react, and playing to the safe side of the green. You know, you want to get over these hay bales. That's the first number one. And then you also want to stop it before it gets long. So it's tricky, but very doable. And I think zone's a good play for this shot. So that's what I'm going to go with. 236 uphill. Plays probably like 240, 250 at about 10 or 20 feet for the uphill slope. Let's get up there and make some uphill putts. All right, so my first one did go long like I thought, but not by much. 20 feet ain't nothing. So it's always good to get a feel for this green. As you guys know, I like to putt on pretty much every green, just to get a feel for it, the upslope, the you know, how the wind's reacting to the putts and all that stuff. And then the second one is parked here. So pretty routine hole. Got to execute the shot still. A lot of the shots will land 20 feet right in that area. You got to rely on your putter, make the birdie. All right, we got hole 9. This is a 361-foot par 3, 110 meters. We have a right to left wind, and we do have this middle tree. That's what kind of the biggest factor on this hole is, this middle tree that pushes you wide. So you want to go around this middle tree, but then also go around this tree on the back end at about 100 feet past this middle tree. There's another tree that you want to be right of. So you want to be semi-tight to this tree so that way you can be in front of that other tree to skip down there to the green for a putt. I like to favor the right side of this green because I don't want to hit any of these guardian trees on the left and then prevent myself from even getting a birdie putt at all. If I go in front of them and skip right at about 25, 30 feet, it mitigates a little bit of the risk and still gives me that good chance for birdie. So I'm going to go Z-swirl force, of course. Hey, that rhymed. That was kind of cool. And try to get down there with my signature disc. So that's good. I like that a lot. It's going to be left and then skip back right. And that should be a little bit short. So I like that a lot. It didn't get as much of a skip as I thought it was gonna. So that was a good shot. That's still about 30 feet short, I would say. So not too bad. That one's gonna be good. It should be skip right about now. Okay, they're not skipping that much up there. So that one's about 40 feet short. So they're not skipping as much as they normally do. So I kind of got to make that mental note I have to throw it a little bit harder to fly it in the air down there as opposed to relying on the skip. So let's try that with this Raptor. That's going to be good still, but not quite as, still once again left at that about 30 to 35 foot range, which is okay. So I'm fine with that. As long as I get down there for a putt on this hole, you want to give yourself a chance on this hole. It's a birdieable hole. The biggest factor, like I said, is that one tree on the left side, that if you hit that, you're left at about 80 feet and you're probably not getting a birdie. So it kills your chances. So we'll walk up there by that tree that I'm talking about. But the problem is if you go inside of it, it makes you want to go short like my first couple are, which is okay. It's not the end of the world. You're still 30 feet with a chance for birdie. That's a great thing on this hole. We're going to put it in perspective, you know, because there are a decent amount of people that will hit that tree and drop, and you're not getting a birdie from there. 9 times out of 10, you're not. So you might slam in a long putt, but for the most part, you're not gonna. So if you hit those trees, that's a par, and that's losing a stroke to most of the field on this hole because it is a pretty routine forehand birdie hole. Okay, so that's interesting. So the hole moved back a little bit, so that's why I'm a little bit short. So the hole is normally right here, and so that's why I'm noticing that I'm short as opposed to like these would be parked on this pin. But you know, it makes a little bit of a difference. The pin for the European Open was here, and now it's about, you know, 6 meters longer, you know, 20 feet longer. And but yeah, this is totally fine. And like I said, left at about 30 feet, exactly the range that I expected to be at. So that was a shank putt, but still dialing it in. Always good to. So putt not feeling super dialed right now, but it happens. But yeah, then my Raptor right here is right at the 20-foot range, so that's always good as well to give yourself that 20-footer from just short of the basket. So yeah, basket placement's a little different than normal, but overall, it's a great hole. All right, guys, thank you for watching the front 9. Now we're here on the back 9. We got hole 10, 755-foot par 4, 230 meters, excuse me. And this is a dogleg left, going straight to a landing zone there, and then kind of a two-part hole. Once you land there, it sets you up for an upshot into a side slope green once again, which is what most of these greens are out here at the Beast. So let's do it. I'm gonna throw my force. That's gonna be my disc this week. I feel like is a lot of force shots. This thing's feeling good in the hand, flying good. But that dirt spot's kind of where I'm trying to land. There's a dirt spot just left of this bushy tree. I like to use that bushy tree as my starting point for my aiming point, and then by the time it's done flying and hyzering, it's gonna hit by that brown spot, preferably. And want to keep in mind not to go too far left because there is that OB line on that left side. So that looks like it's exactly what I want. See where it lands? Yep, that's perfect. That's a perfect spot. So that is, couldn't place that drive any better, so I'm gonna try to duplicate that with this one. That one's a little bit wide. It's gonna hit the tree and drop and still not be bad, just not as good as that first one. So exactly what I said was gonna happen is hit that tree. I'm gonna try one more here. And let's see. All right, so I'm gonna try my orange force here. Flex shot just like that one that hit the tree, except I want a hyzer in front of that. And even hitting that tree is not the end of the world. So that's why I don't mind aiming at that, because if I hit it, it's still birdieable from there. Let's try this again. Oh, I pulled it. So yeah, I'm trying to throw a flex shot, and just that one went too straight. That's gonna be OB long right. So that's definitely not the move. So that first one I'm throwing on hyzer, the second one I'm kind of trying to throw on flex. And so my timing's a little off on the flex shot. I'm gonna try to dial it in here again. A little bit better, it's probably gonna hit that tree again. Just under it. Okay, so that's fine. We're in that dirt spot like I was trying to aim the first couple. So that's fine. Nothing wrong with that shot. But yeah, you know, you can throw a hyzer in the corner, you can throw a flex shot like I was doing there. Just kind of whatever you feel comfortable with. That's kind of what you want to go with on this hole. All right, so here's a shot that I played into this brown spot, which I told you guys from the tee pad is kind of exactly where I'm trying to land. So I'm gonna throw my shot from here. I'm gonna throw a zone. Got about 300 feet into the basket from here, and want to favor this left-hand side, of course. And we do have a left to right kind of wind, so I'm gonna throw it nice and high and let the wind push it straight. Throw a zone. Oh, that was a super slip, so I'm not gonna even watch where that went. That was a super slip, so that one's not even worth watching. It wasn't a real shot. That was crazy. So I'm gonna throw a Raptor now on this one. Just throw it out wide. That should come back left. It should be parked. So, yep, I like that shot a lot. Should be good. Flop down right by the basket. I'm gonna try one more zone. The first one wasn't even a real shot, but this one is, hopefully I don't slip. This one should be good. There we go, that's better. Much better, that's parked. Yep. Trusted that one nice and wide outside, and then kind of came back. So that's always important on a shot like that, just to trust yourself, trust the angle of release, because the wind is gonna push it and that side slope's gonna wanna turn it if you turn it too much. That was my first force, which is super ideal. That's a great shot. Should be a high percentage birdie from there. All right, so here's the green down here. My Raptor did go long. I don't like throwing driver because a lot of times I can't skip and roll. So, but yeah, this is my Raptor. If it gets windy enough, it's definitely possible that you can throw a driver. But for the most part, I like throwing putters in because it doesn't roll quite as much. But yeah, the zone's parked, Raptor's parked. Just kind of a feel shot, which how far away you got into the green. If I got 300, I'm gonna throw a zone. If I got 320 to 350, probably throw a Raptor. So those are the distances I'm keeping in my head to kind of make that adjustment if I want to go driver versus zone upshot into the green. All right, we got hole 11. This is a 393-foot par 3 and 120 meters. We got the pond short. We have the gap shot to the right. You got to go over the pond, but left of the bushes. So this is a very specific shot. I'm gonna go with my force, of course, because this is flying good. And that's what I'm gonna do. Is it cool if I go? So I'm really just trying to go left of the basket on this one. I'm not really trying to park it, just trying to hit the gap, go left, and give myself that birdie putt. So that should be ideal. Skip over the pond. And so hit the backside. Fine, a little bit wide, but I'm gonna try to throw this one a little bit tighter. That one looks like it's a little safe on the backside. And I'm gonna try to throw this one a little bit tighter to the left side. A little early, so some kind of somewhere in between those two, but first one should be safe, should be putting from there, and give myself a birdie look. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the name of this game, is just getting over that pond, skipping left. Kind of the sweet spot is left side of the basket. Kind of takes all those trees in the pond out of play as much as possible. That's kind of what I'm looking for. All right, so here, my first one just cleared the OB, got pretty lucky, so I definitely don't want to be thinking that that shot's exactly how I wanted it, because it's not. But I definitely like being able to have a birdie putt, and from this distance, always what I'm looking for. So there you go, got 3 out of 4 birdies from there. That was my first 4th shot. And but yeah, as you can see, those bushes are a little random. You want to kind of hyzer left, kind of this left side of the basket. Not really trying to park it, just trying to land in that kind of 20 to 30 foot circle just left, and take the putt from there. All right, we got hole 12. This is a par 4 straight, and then towards the 3/4 down the fairway, it starts curling left, 600 feet, 183 meters, and we got a tighter gap than normal. Everything's grown in. They might trim it, they might not. It's always good to practice, you know, with it grown in, because then if it gets easier, you're already prepared for it. So I'm gonna go with my Z swirl force as I'm throwing on most holes right now, because it's kind of flying really good, so might as well. So I'm gonna throw it flex shot through the gap, and then skip at like about 400, 420, start skipping and fading left. Or right, that's the goal. So that one was not bad. It landed straight, but I wanna be a little bit more to the right. So I'm gonna try to get there on this next one. A little bit low on that one. So once again, not horrible, totally fine and manageable. It's hard to get it much higher right now because those limbs up there are pushing you down. So it's hard to get height, and that's why I keep throwing too low. Try this Venom here. Threw that high, but too high. So yeah, I threw it too high, it's just kind of hit and plop down. So that's the difference between being able to throw it high and low, is that I don't necessarily want to throw it higher to go further, because then all that happens is that. I'd much rather just throw it into the ground and get no skip and then still be in the fairway. And instead of hitting that tree, potentially rolling OB, who knows what's gonna happen. So you can see this hole is a lot tighter than normal. And this limb up here is so much lower than normal. I mean, that limb is probably normally like 10 feet up in the air. So it's like you're going uphill and you have almost 0 height to get underneath that. So these limbs are super low. I imagine they're gonna trim them, but if not, definitely something to keep in mind. Makes this hole a lot trickier, no doubt about that. So here's my shots that are landing up here. These two are, you know, they're manageable. This next force up here, of course, that one's my best shot and has the best chance for birdie. So I'm gonna go up there and play from that one. All right, I'm gonna try this Cigarra that I've been throwing. I'm gonna throw it forehand though, around this right side, and let it kind of turn into the gap and give myself a putt up there. Just like that. A little bit low, but that should be good. Slipped a little bit, but that was actually a pretty good shot. I'm gonna try one more. I'm gonna try the Athena this time and throw that same shot with the forehand. That looks really good actually. So I'm throwing these kind of understable fairways forehand on that second shot, and I'm really liking that. So I feel like I have a lot more touch, and you know, it's not that far, just there's low ceiling that makes you want to throw a forehand fairway instead of like a zone or something like that I normally would. But as you can see, these limbs are so low. So it's a super tricky shot to get up there. And like I said, they haven't trimmed them yet before the tournament, but I would imagine they will. But I like playing it when it's harder. And then when it gets easier, you're already prepared for that hard gap, and it makes it that much easier. So always rather go from harder to easier, as opposed to, you know, if you just come out here when the limbs are trimmed, it just feels easy. So it's just kind of a mindset thing. So this one's a little short. This is the Sagara. So it's not parked, but it's also not makeable. It's makeable from here. Just like that. Drano. But yeah, 2 for 3 or 2 for 4 from long range. It's always good. Then the Athena's parked. That's always nice to get your one up there. That's right by the bucket. So yeah, forehand turnover with the fairways, dialing that in. That's always good to have, and it's good to have that whenever you need it. Practice that spin putt for that windy day. You never know. So yeah, even when I'm just messing around with the practice basket, looks like I'm messing around, but I'm still dialing in that spin putt and while I'm messing around, so you can still take it serious and get that muscle memory at the same time. Double whammy. Also, we're learning our understable fairway shots when we need them. Never know. All right, once again, low ceiling, hole 13, 614 feet, 187 meters. I really like the forehand on this play, on this hole. Like I said, we do have the low ceiling, so I like throwing a forehand into this hill. And if you hit the hill, a lot of times it wants to skip straight instead of to the right. So I'm gonna throw might as well throw a force. Just keep the force train going, and throw the force straight, skip right, and I want to skip kind of right out of the gap, and that gives me a good chance to get up and down for that bird. Just like that, hit the hill, should skip straight. That's perfect. So that's literally identical to the shot that I want to throw. Totally fine with that. I'm gonna throw a venom on this next shot. Same exact shot as that first one, and money. So both of those out of the gap into a perfect spot, and should be able to throw some zones from there and get up and down. Let's do it. All right, so here's my forehand, just straight hyzer through the gap. You still got to throw a good shot to flex it through the gap and then skip right to this kind of sweet spot. Once again, I like to play the kind of 20-foot circles. Anywhere in this 20-foot circle is pretty much exactly where I'm trying to land. Now I'm trying to throw a low ceiling forehand with this zone underneath that limb, get myself inside the circle. Then we take care of business from there. Just like that, high and wide, just under the limb, should skip, and that's perfect. It went down the downslope, past the basket, but it's totally fine. It's probably about a 20-foot uphill putt. I'm gonna try one more. That one's also low, should skip under the limb, right to the basket. Just like that, perfect. 10 feet away. Exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm gonna try one more. Just try to throw a zone. Just smooth it up there, try the backhand, just to, you know, if the wind's different or something, it's always good to know, you know, both ways to access the green. Little high left, but see if it gets through there. Okay, that one's a little lucky. I'm gonna try one more with this focus. I like throwing the focus for upshots as well. That one looks good. It should be a little long, maybe, it looks like. Okay, no, that's perfect. Okay, that's great. I'm gonna try one more because I do like the way that flew on that focus line. So let's see here. That one's a little flippy, so it's going a little wide right now. I don't like that. Okay, so that one was just the same focus as the first one, just a little bit flippier. So definitely know that if I'm gonna throw that shot, I am gonna throw the more stable focus. So those are the little things that I'm noticing. I threw both of them the exact same shot, so it wasn't a bad shot at all. That second release with the focus that turned over was a great shot, exactly what I was trying to do, but I normally don't throw that one. I normally just putt with it. So I don't know how it flies. So it is flippier when it's flying than it is when just slow speeds whenever you're putting with it. And so that's what I kind of figured out right there. All right, so here's my backhand focus that's parked. My forehand zone is parked, and my other backhand zone is parked. So we got options. Once again, it's mostly based on the wind. My first zone that was a little bit long is also money because it's just back here, you know, a little uphill 20-footer, something like that. And always good to dial those in as well. But yeah, it's a good hole, good green. It's all about distance control on that upshot. All right, we got hole 14. This is a 394 par 3, 120 meters. This one's different. Normally it's been a forehand for years, left to right through the gap. Now it's a backhand right to left, probably about, you know, 50 feet left of where the basket placement normally is. So it's gonna be some sort of flex driver. I'm gonna throw probably a Venom and just kind of flex it through the gap. It's the type of hole, if you throw it straight, you know, probably around 400 feet, you'll have a 20-footer, something like that. So I'm just gonna try to throw my Venom straight. Not worry about hyzering too much, but just hitting the gap, see where I land from there, and then making the adjustment from that spot. Okay, so that's just gonna be, wherever that landed, it's probably just gonna be a par. I mean, this hole is like, you wanna get a birdie look, but I mean, even if you do that, worst case scenario, it's just a par, so it's not like that much risk, but I'm gonna try to throw it better than this one. There we go, that's much better. So that's right to left, through the gap. That's parked, so that's ideal. That's probably 20 feet from the basket. So I'm gonna try to replicate that one. I'm actually gonna try to throw a Raptor, see how that works. Let's try that again. I didn't turn it quite enough. Once again, like even a bad shot on this hole is just a par. It's not really the type of hole where if you shank it, it's gonna be a bogey, like some of these holes out here. But let's go one more. I didn't turn that one again. So keep not turning it. Not the end of the world, but just a par save. But yeah, let's get up there. I haven't seen this pin yet, so it's a new pin for me. Let's see how it's looking. All right, so for the fourth shot, it looks like it hit this backstop. I do like this backstop here because if you run into this backstop anywhere along here, you have like about a 20-foot putt. So I like throwing driver just so that way you can hit this, drop, and then take your putt from here. It's always good to use the course slopes to your advantage. All right, force it is, force and focus. That's the birdie discs on hole 14. We got hole 15, 476 foot par 3 downhill. We got 145 meters. I like to throw just a smooth fairway driver, split the gap, and kind of go left of the basket. That's kind of where all the open space is. Right side's OB. So I like to play to the fat side of the fairway and the green, which is to that left side. So I'm gonna throw to the left side once these mowers get out of the way. All right, I'm gonna go straight ahead with the Athena. Just try to throw it just left of the bush and try to get up there on the green. This hole's normally pretty windy, so it can be a little tricky, but I didn't turn it quite enough. So that's gonna be OB left more than likely, which is all right, learn from that. Once again, as you guys know, it's just kind of a learning curve. I'm gonna throw an Onyx on this next one. There we go, that's much better. So that one should be parked right down the gap. Should be, it's about 20, 30 feet left, kind of what I'm going for. I'm gonna try one more just for kicks and try to throw it through the gap. Let's see, I might throw the Raptor. I'm gonna throw kind of a flex shot, kind of at those bushes and then hyzer just in front of them. See if that works out for me. Just like that, I like that. So that's gonna go over the ditch, should be left. And yeah, should be fine. Went just over the OB, should have about a 30-footer from that spot. I might try one more with the hyzer, try to throw a nuke and just kind of see how this hyzer looks. Because we do have a good wind that's pushing right to left. So that looks good. It should be up there left of the green. And yeah, that should be good. Just left of the basket about 30 feet. If it's a right to left crosswind like this wind is right now, I can throw it up nice and high and wide, and it's gonna spike down left and should give me a putt. We'll see when we get up there. So I'm gonna practice from this left side. This is kind of the safe side of the green. So I'm gonna play from here, see if we can get a couple putts to drop from here. One. All right. All right, we got hole 16 here, 728 foot par 4, 222 meters, one of the most important holes in disc golf. If you want to win a world title, you're gonna have to get your birdie on this hole. And rules are back to old rules, where if you go OB, you're rethrowing from your previous lie. So that can take its toll. But right now we don't have any wind, not much wind at all. I'm gonna take this right side hyzer with a Raptor, nice and high, play it across the road into that sweet spot. Just like that. It's pretty much exactly what I'm going for. Should be across the road and in the perfect spot. So that spot is exactly where I want to land. I'm going to try to throw it on top of that with this second one and get some consistency. That one's a little bit wider, but should be skip back left, should be fine. Yep, just like that, in pretty much the same spot. One more, see if we can't throw them inside the size of a hula hoop spot. Same spot, a little wide, should be fine once again. All right, so got a couple shots safe. Let's go up there and throw some up shots, dial in the green. Thank you guys. Yep. All right, awesome. All right. They're saying if I get an eagle, I get 1,000 euros. That's pretty fun. We'll see, you never know. We got 3 rounds out here at the Beast. Got a chance to throw this sucker in, that'd be fun. And you could throw it in on this hole. You could throw a high spike hyzer and smash it in while still throwing a high percentage shot, because that's what I'm all about. All right, so we do have a couple spots up here. If I land in this area, kind of close to this OB line, I'm gonna go with the zone. But if I land back here, which is where I'm gonna practice right now, if I land back here a little bit, you'd see it's like a 20-foot difference. So that's gonna be the difference between me throwing a zone up there and a Raptor back here, just to give it that little extra speed. It's not that I need the extra distance, it's just more like I can throw an 80% shot with my zone, get to the green from here, and I can also throw an 80% shot into the green with my Raptor and get there from here. So it's more just throwing a touchy, smooth shot rather than the actual distance. I want to be able to throw 80% no matter where I land, because that's when I feel my most controlled. So I have left to right wind, gonna push us. So even a Raptor is gonna wanna go straight, push, and then it's not gonna really want to hyzer, it's gonna want to finish just straight. So I'm gonna throw it high, distance control shot, I want to be spiking in, so that way I don't get a skip at the end of the flight. Just like that, should drop right about now. Okay, that's bad, that's actually went OB. So that actually was a shot that I was happy with. I mean, you can see it wasn't a bad shot. It went up, went down, dropped, and just barely went OB long. So once again, it's not much to be mad about. I hit the green and just got a bad skip. I thought I was just gonna stick. So that's a little bit of intricacies on this hole, is that like you can throw a good shot, still go OB. Maybe I'm gonna throw a little bit higher. Just like that, it's gonna be high. We'll see if it's too high though. Might be short. Okay, so I mean, you see the difference. I'm already, you know, this could be a tournament ruiner already. And this is obviously not ideal, but I think this is important because, you know, it shows you the difference between landing here and here. I'm gonna try one more from back here with my Raptor again, just so I wanna stick the green and get a feel for how that feels to stick the green. There we go, that's better. So that one's a lot better, should be good. A little bit wide, that's definitely not the width I'm looking for. It was safe, but I mean, that's once again the result wise. Like the first one was better than that one. The first one's OB and the third one's safe. So yeah, result wise, yeah, that's a better shot, but feel wise, first one was way better than that one. Now we're gonna go up to this zone shot, and I'm gonna throw a nice smooth zone to the basket here. Straight at it, should be good. Soft plastic, so it should skip or should stick just like that. So that's why I like that soft zone coming into this green. So that way, once again, this is gonna land nice and soft, hopefully, just like that. I like that. All right. So, I mean, you see the difference. If I land in the spot where I can throw a zone versus a Raptor, there's a lot less chance for error for me. So it's almost a little bit worth the aggression to get in that zone upshot area as opposed to the Raptor upshot. All right, so here my zones are pretty much just tap in putts for the birdie. That's always good to know that. And then my first Raptor just hit right here and just trickled OB barely. And then my other Raptor that was kind of a shank. That one was a good shot, was OB, and the shank is safe. So kind of the name of the game sometimes. Your good shots are bad and your bad shots are good. But yeah, we're gonna dial this hole in. We're gonna hit the green every time. That's what we're gonna be doing. All right, we got hole 17, 459, par 3, downhill, right to left side slope. A lot going on in this hole, 140 meters. We do have a little bit of a headwind, so the wind definitely dictates what shot I'm gonna throw in this hole. So right now, we have a little bit of a right to left pushing wind. I do like to throw like a buzz or something like that. So I'm gonna try the buzz, see where that gets me, and then I'm also gonna throw a forehand. These trees have grown up over the years, so I don't love the forehand as much as I used to. I threw forehand last year, but I might just go straight at it. We'll see this year. See what we think on this shot once we kind of have a feel for it. So that looks really good. It's gonna turn. That's perfect. That's probably the best shot I've thrown on this hole ever. So that's really good. I'm gonna try one more here. I'm gonna throw another buzz actually. I like that shot. That was a really direct line right at it. I'm gonna try one more here, same shot. Another buzz, looks really good, turning. Gonna be hyzering back. That's a little short, but I do like that. So that first one was great, even the second one was good. Second one probably is gonna be a layup for a par, which is fine. This whole par is not the worst. You wanna get a birdie look if you can, but par is not the end of the world. It's a really tough, tricky par 3. The backhanders have a tough time with that side slope, and the forehanders still have a tricky time because these trees, you got the headwind where if you overturn it, you're OB. And if you over hyzer it with the backhand, you're OB left because the side slope doesn't let it stop. It just wants to skip and feed to that left-hand side OB. So really tricky, a very well-designed par 3. Challenges the forehand, it challenges the backhand. You're not getting away with not getting challenged no matter what way you throw it, forehand or backhand. Great design. Show you the green. Okay, so my buzz just got smashed down in the wind. So this one, if I landed here in the tournament, it's just gonna be one of these plays. Just lay up right down there. So nothing crazy, just a layup for par, which is kind of, I can do that blindfolded, but I'm gonna see where so my second one's perfect. Second one's completely parked, probably the closest I've ever thrown this hole. So that was the buzz, and that was a really good shot. But I think a lot of times, really what I'm trying to do is just throw it straight somewhere in this area. You know, right in here, I think is kind of, if I can land my shot here, my drive here every time, I would take that 100%. So let's take some putts from here. That was just a wind lift. Got a little bit of right to left wind, so they're lifting up like that first one did. So something to be aware of. So yeah, definitely makeable putt. But yeah, that buzz, first one, man, that was a beautiful shot. Always good to park this hole and get some confidence going. All right, we got hole 18. This is an awesome finishing hole. As you guys probably saw last year, it came down to this hole between me and Gannon. And I got by this hole and didn't get the birdie, but it happens. We're here next year. It's a new year, new tournament, new mindset. Let's go. 699 par 3, 230, 213 par meters, 699 par 4. So I'm gonna throw a couple zones. I'm gonna throw just a left to right zone shot in the middle, probably try to bite off 300, and then leave about 400 into the green. So that's kind of what I'm fine with, not biting off as much off the tee and then making that second shot a little bit longer, just because that last year I did go into those trees and kind of blocked me from having a high percentage chance to get up and down. I had to throw some weird shot. So I'm gonna play back a little bit away from those trees, short of them, so that way I don't have to risk throwing into the tree. So that's fine. It's a little bit wide left, but totally fine, safe. It looks like that's close to the OB, but it's really not anywhere close because I know if I throw it out there that zone's flippy and it's gonna turn. So no problems with that at all. There we go, that's another good shot. Turning should be all right if it doesn't go OB to the right. Oh, okay, so that was really weird. That thing just kept turning and actually went OB right, which is super weird for that disc because it normally doesn't do that. I'm gonna I'm gonna throw one more. I'm gonna throw my Old Faithful gray zone. This is my Old Faithful. So turn this one over, flex it out, land in the middle. So that one didn't turn as much as I thought either. That's weird. Okay, so kind of trying to, a little bit tricky. As you can see, this shot's I'm not throwing it perfect right now, but I'm gonna throw one more zone and have this one land in the middle. Oh my gosh, that was a shank. 4! Oh, I know who those are, guys. See here. All right, I gotta throw one good one. This is getting terrible. All right, I'm gonna throw down the middle zone. This one's gonna be good. There we go, that's better. Safe, down the middle, probably about 400 feet into the green. I'm gonna try a forehand just because that's what I did last year. I wanna see where that's gonna land me this year. There we go, that's better. So it's gonna hit the green, should land safe, and I like that spot. So forehand's always good to land in the middle, give myself that good chance to get up and down for the bird. And maybe I'll go with the forehand, a little easier to throw the flex. The backhand, you gotta throw it, you gotta throw it good. And I just wasn't feeling the zone. But yeah, a lot of options to have. Thank you, thank you. All right, so here's probably the spot that I'm gonna plan on landing. Let's see how far we have to the green. All right, so we have 345. That's what the distance shoots. But I mean, obviously you gotta factor in the upslope. We have an upslope of about probably, I'd say this slope is probably 30 foot adds to it at least. And we got a headwind, so that adds another 20 feet. So it's gonna make it play like a 400-foot shot. Uphill and headwind, that's gonna slow your disc down. So you're gonna have to throw what feels like a 400-foot shot to fly your disc 345, which is what it's shooting on the rangefinder. So those are all the variables that, the rangefinder helps, but you still have to be able to calculate the feel of the shot based on the conditions that you have at that very moment, because it could be changing. Could be a tailwind, you could be losing 50 feet, or it could be a headwind, and that's, depending on how strong it is, that's the difference between difference between inbounds and out of bounds. So there's a lot of feel that goes on with these kind of shots. Force out wide, about 40 feet wide, trying to play it into the slope. That's pretty much exactly what I'm going for. That looks really good. So it's gonna fade back left, should be parked. Yep, I'm fine with that. In the trees long, nothing wrong with that. That's probably about a 25, 30 footer. I'm gonna try one more here. Pretty much the same shot. This is a Nuke OS. That's another good shot that I like. So that's another one that's safe. I like that. So this is a nice spot that I can throw a nice stock 400, 420 something in that range foot hyzer. That's gonna, that one looks good as well. That's a little bit wider than I want. We'll see if that's gonna be safe or not. Okay, that is safe. So that's a little bit long, but totally fine. So yeah, this spot, I think it eliminates those trees where I went last year that eventually lost me the tournament. So yeah, if I play back a little bit shorter, give myself a longer shot into the green, I don't have to deal with those trees, and I can get myself that chance for birdie and hopefully win this thing this year. That's funny. Did you show that? That's funny. Just clowning around, dead center, smashed it from 250 with the zone. Bag putt, bag throw, I guess I should say. All right, a couple of my shots went into these bushes long, which is pretty much a death trap, because that means you're crawling into the bush, laying up for par. That's what that means. So long side is safe, but you ain't getting a birdie from in here, that's for sure. There's no scrambling, there's no nothing, you're dead. It's one of these, lay up out there, take your par and move on. So yeah, that's definitely not ideal on this one. So yeah, I mean, you can go long. It's not the end of the world. You're not gonna get a bogey, but you're also not gonna be able to give yourself that chance for the birdie as well. So, which is of course what we're looking for. But thank you guys for watching. My other Nuke OS is up there parked. we're ready. This is our second course breakdown. Hopefully you guys are enjoying these course breakdowns from Finland. We're at the World Championships. We're getting dialed in. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time in Turku, still in Finland, next video. See you guys there.